let's get back into our hockey, though, Brett, because we just talked about that Moneyline Magic. You mentioned that on Thursday, the Senators and Maple Leafs are playing again. Now, I'm looking at the Oregon Sportsbook right now. We do not have a line out for their next game already. Maybe the odds makers are going to show Ottawa a little bit more respect. I saw they didn't for Wednesday night's game. It was very similar to the line that happened on Monday night that I won with. So you're holding up your finger, though. Do you have a line for this in New Jersey?
I do. Ottawa plus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 108.
The disrespect.
The disrespect. They hate the Senators. I just don't get the love for the Leafs. That's really where the confusion comes in. I get the fade the Sens, but why are you loving the Leafs so much?
Austin Matthews is a great player. He's having a great year, but I agree. Toronto, they've been known for collapses and not performing up to expectations in the NHL for decades on decades. It's been painful to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan for a lot of people. So the respect that they're getting, these sports books, maybe you want to sprinkle some of that over to Ottawa because, they covered a 1.5 spread tonight on Wednesday. They won outright on Monday against Toronto, so giving a goal and a half to Senators bettors with plus odds, you know what? If that's like that in Oregon when that line comes out, I'm gonna probably take that.
There you go. Let's go, Higgins.
Very interesting. But I'll tell you what I know that I'm going to be on at least, and that's going to be the Devils versus Bruins game. And the Devils, they've looked okay this year. I mean, they're 5-3-2. They're not looking fantastic, but they're not looking bad. The Bruins have played a lot more games, though, to be fair. They're 10-2-2. They've legitimately played almost double the games that the Devils have. But I think that this is going to be a close game because these two teams have already played each other before. To start the season, they faced off against each other, and it was split 1-1. Each team won one of their games. Both of those games went to overtime, and it was a one-goal difference, obviously. One of those games even went to a shootout. So why shouldn't I pick Devils plus 1.5 when the juice is only minus 128? It could be a lot worse for a puck line. So I'm going to take that plus 1.5, minus 128, and I hope that it's going to be a game like it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I could definitely see this being a 1 goal game, Higgins. And, you know, if New Jersey pulls their goalie at the end and there's an empty netter, well, that's hockey betting. So I
That
think
just
this will be
happens.
close. Yeah, I think this will be a close one.
Rask will probably be in net. He's averaging 2.5 goals allowed per game. We'll see who the Devils have in the net. They've been going back and forth between Wedgwood and Blackwood. Had Comrie in there for a game. I'm not sure who the Devils will put in there, but if they put in Blackwood, he has a sub 2 goals allowed per game, so that could be pretty good for a plus 1.5 line.
Yeah, I mean, I think New Jersey is a solid team, and I I really don't see this game being a blowout. So why not take the plus plus goal side here?
A game that I do see potentially being a blowout, though, Brett, is going to be this Sabres Capitals game. Washington's starting to look better and better as they've been getting their players back, and they had some COVID issues earlier with some of their Russian players. They've had Evgeny Kuznetsov on injured reserve. Now they only have Brian Pinho listed day to day, though. The Buffalo Sabres, they have 2 players on injured reserve, a player already listed as out, and 2 players listed day to day. Very different in terms of your injury reports for these two teams. And you look at the history of how these two teams have played each other, they also started their seasons against each other. The Capitals won both games. One of them was a multi-goal win, one was only a 1-goal win. Well, I'm going to take my chances that it's going to be a multi-goal win. So I'm going to take Washington minus 1.5 at plus 132 odds because 132 isn't a lot of plus money, but they're not being disrespected and getting thrown down into like the 108s, 105s. 132 is still a pretty good return. It's still decent value for that, and I think that the Capitals are fully capable of winning by multiple goals.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If the Sabers have Hutton in net, I love this bet, Higgins. If they have Olmark in net, I like it a little bit less, but I definitely think the Capitals have the offense to put any game out of reach. So, taking them -1.5 is never a crazy play to me.
Hey, you actually just mentioned something great. Hutton was the goalie that was in net when they lost by more than one goal to Washington to start the season. When they had Allmark in net, that was the one goal game. Hutton started most recently against the Islanders, though, so we'll see who's going to be the netminder in that game. It'll be interesting, though. But there you go. I gave you 2 picks, possibly 3, depending on where that Ottawa Senators line's going to be in Oregon when that comes out for me out here. I'll make sure to post on our social media about that. I'm trying to get better with that again, guys. I'm sorry if I've slacked on that a little bit, but we do post picks in between episodes. So if you want to know what we're going to be on for Friday's games or for Saturday's games or Sunday's games, make sure to follow us on our social media at MBBPod on Twitter, at Next Best Bet on Instagram, and the Next Best Bet Facebook page and YouTube channel.